What's going on, gang members? Welcome back, and today we have a new top 10 on our series. It is the top 10 Nintendo 64 games of all time. I think we can all agree that Nintendo 64 was by far the best system that Nintendo has ever come out with, and probably will ever come out with. But like any other top 10 series, we got to have a couple of honorable mentions, so let's go ahead and get right into them, not waste any more time. Alright, here we go. Coming in at the first honorable mention spot, we have pretty much the game that started the whole wrestling genre for the Nintendo 64. WCW versus NWO World Tour. Now, I never liked wrestling. I never watched it as a kid. Didn't really give two shreds of a shit about it. But these games were just fun. Like, that, they just really were. Especially World Tour, because there was a boxer. Like, after you went through all the levels and all the belts and all that other garbage, there was a boxer that you could get. I think his name was like Joe Bruiser or some shit. And he would just, like, absolutely just pummel the shit out of people. Like, all you could do is punch, but that's all you had to do. I mean, you just throw the 1-2 punch on somebody and boom, they are out like a light. Okay, so before we move along any further, I'm going to show you guys a quick clip from it, just some gameplay. I had a request to do this on my last top 5, so, or on my top series, whatever the fuck. So anyway, here's some gameplay. Alright guys, our next honorable mention was brought to me by Craighead Pro, and I completely forgot about this game. Bomberman 64. This game used to be so much fun, like, just all the chaos that ensues in this game, especially if you had more than one person playing it and you were playing on multiplayer. Yeah, this game was definitely a lot of fun to play. So, here you go, check out some gameplay of it.
Ready, go!
God, those cherry bombs were a bitch. Alright guys, moving right along. At number 10, we have one that was brought up to me by a coworker, and that is basically the rare version of Mario Kart, and it is Diddy Kong Racing. If you ever played this game, it's essentially Mario Kart with all the rare characters. It's a really fun game to play, it really is. You can fly, you can do all kinds of crazy shit in it. But anyway guys, here's a little gameplay, hope you enjoy. I always hated those stupid boss races, didn't y'all? Alright guys, moving right along. At number 9, we have a game that even if you hated flying games, you still always love this one. That's right, we have Star Fox 64. Now, this game, the only complaint I had about this game was that Falco was just such a douche the whole time in this game. It was, God, he was so annoying. But anyway, check out some gameplay of it. Surely you guys remember it.
Everybody stay alert! You got an enemy on your tail! Use the brake!
Well, I know it's on my to-do list. Yeah, definitely going to be hitting up Star Fox. Alright guys, moving right along at number 8, we have the plumber that everybody knows. This game probably should have been rated higher. I have never beat this game, but I definitely want to go back and try to play it again. You got it, Mario 64. Alright, now this game was actually a lot of fun, but this was probably one of the most in-depth Marios I've played in a long time. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the gameplay, and we will be back here in just a minute. Oh yeah, now I remember why I quit playing the game. That stupid ass penguin. I think everybody hated that thing. Pretty sure we can all agree on that. Alright guys, next on the list at number 7 is going to go to a game that I was never a fan of the series, but I know my brother-in-law is an absolute diehard fan of it. So I'm going to throw this one in there for him, throw him a little bone here. Alright, number 7, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Now, again, I couldn't really get into the series. Yes, I just said that, but, you know, like I said, I'm not trying to discredit the Legend of Zelda series at all. They have by far earned their place in the video game world. So what we're going to do, just take a look at some of the gameplay, and we'll be back here shortly. Like I said, not really a series that I could really get into, but I'm not going to take anything away from the Legend of Zelda series. It deserves that spot, so I'm going to give it to it. Moving right along, number 6 is a game that you could spend hours upon hours playing the multiplayer for. And even if you didn't have anybody to play with, if you were playing by yourself, you could still have a ton of fun doing it. Like, the way you could customize things and like create the AI in the game at the time was absolutely unbelievable. Number 6 is going to go to Perfect Dark. Now, like I said, this game, you could spend so many hours playing this game. And it had like, I think 4 or 5 maps maybe from GoldenEye. Everybody loved playing Facility in GoldenEye. This game had it. And it was just so much fun. Like, you could just, I don't know, you'll just have to watch the gameplay. It's so hard to explain, but everything in this game is just absolutely crazy and so much fun.
What the? Dog excited. She got me.
So many hours me and my brother spent on that game playing the multiplayer, just fighting against the AI in that game. It was ridiculous. Alright guys, moving right along, we're at number 5. Getting into the top 5 now. Number 5, like I said, I was never a fan of wrestling when I was a kid, but this game was so much fun. It had to be in the top 5. I'm sorry, it had to be. Number 5 is going to go to WWF No Mercy. Now, this game was the cream of the crop of the wrestling games for the Nintendo 64, I should say. Well, anyway, this game had it all back in the day. You could create your character, you know, I mean, you could do whatever. You could go for the championship belts, whatever you wanted to do. Now, that being said, this game did have a issue with it when it originally came out. It had a save issue. So basically, if you bought this game after it first came out and then, you know, tried to play it, you know, you'd be playing through the championship mode. You'd have your character created, and all of a sudden you'd save it and turn it off, and then, you know, come back the next day, turn it back on. Everything would be gone. What the fuck? Yeah, that stuff was very annoying, and it happened to me several times, and I never knew that it had an actual issue with it until actually earlier today, until I was looking up information on it. But actually, it happened to me a lot of times while I was playing championship mode. I would go to start the next match, my guy would come out nothing but a Speedo, and he would have an unknown name and some random ass music would be playing. But anyway, guys, check out some gameplay. Great game. Definitely, I don't know if I'd recommend trying to get an actual copy of the game. If you do emulators, then go for that, but make sure you own an actual copy of it. But if you're having save issues with it, then go for the emulator. You can do that, but owning a physical copy of it, it's kind of risky. But anyway, enjoy the gameplay. Nothing but hours of non-stop ass-kicking between me and my cousin in that game. Oh my god, it was ridiculous. Alright guys, moving right along. At number 4, we have a game that everybody knows, everybody loves. It could not go without being in the top 5. Absolutely could not. I tweeted out to my boys over at Screw Attack. Whoever owns the, whoever manages, I should say, the Screw Attack Twitter. I asked them what their number 1 N64 game of all time was. They tweeted it to me. Like I said, it's not my personal favorite. It definitely is one of my favorites, but not my personal number 1 favorite. But I'm definitely going to put it in there for them. So for all the guys at Screw Attack, this is for you. Number 4 belongs to Super Smash Brothers. This game was absolutely unbelievable. Like, it was so strange looking. Whenever you first saw the commercial for it on TV, you were like, why are the Nintendo characters beating the shit out of each other? I don't understand. But there was nothing really to understand. I mean, the way I look at it, they just had years of aggression towards each other built up, and they just needed their own game where they could just take it out on each other. And that's exactly what this game delivers. Nothing but hours of non-stop fun of Nintendo characters beating the living crap out of each other. Now, the more people you had playing this game, the better. Granted, you could play it by yourself, but it was nowhere near as fun unless you were playing it with, I'd say, no less than a whole room full of people. Like, you've got to have a whole room full of people, and you will spend hours playing this game. Nothing but tournaments and everything else. But anyway, here's the gameplay for it. I know you guys know it, and I know you're going to love it. Number 4, Super Smash Brothers.
3, 2, 1, go!
That goes back to the whole hours of non-stop ass kicking that I mentioned earlier. Alright guys, moving right along. Number 3. Number 3 is probably going to surprise a lot of people, the fact that it is number 3 instead of number 1. As I said earlier, I'm not a fan of this series, but this game, everybody I know that is a fan of the Legend of Zelda series absolutely loves this game. It has to be in the top 5. Actually, it deserves to be in the top 3. It really does. I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about this game. I'm going to go out on a limb and more than likely try it. I just have to get around to it. But number 3 is going to go to, this is for my brother-in-law, because he is a huge Legend of Zelda fan. This is going to go to Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, I don't really know too much about this game. My brother-in-law, he knows this game like the back of his hand. All I know is this game is, you can look on any top, however many Nintendo 64 games of all time. You can look on any of those websites. This game always comes back to number 1. But like I said, this is my top 10, so I'm putting it where I think it belongs, and I truly believe it belongs at the number 3 spot. So without further ado, here's gameplay for Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. You know, like I said before, guys, I'm not a fan of that series, but to say that game absolutely looks amazing is an understatement. It really is. Like I said, I'm not going to discredit anything at all from the Legend of Zelda series. It's just personal preference. It really is. But anyway, moving right along, we're in the top 2. At the number 2 spot, we have my personal favorite, that cranky little drunk squirrel that we all know and we all love to hate. That's right, the number 2 spot is going to go to my personal favorite, Conker's Bad Fur Day. This game, I have loved this game ever since the day that I played it. It's just a phenomenal game, and it is absolutely hilarious. Like, everything in this game, it's perfect for the way it is. This was back when Rare was in their, in their prime. The Nintendo 64 was Rare's, like, that was their ultimate system that they could make games on. And they completely, they completely went above and beyond with Conker's Bad Fur Day. I mean, this game, it looked innocent enough, and this was the game that you thought you might be able to trick your parents into buying for you, but then they had that big old, this game is not for anyone under age 17 thing right smack dab in the front of the box. So that kind of screwed the pooch for you on that one. But anyway, enjoy the gameplay. This is probably my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes anyway, in the entire game. Alright, we'll be back with number 1 spot right after this.
Hey, hello there. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Come in now. Yeah, sit down. What I want? Oh, this place really smells. Well, see where like dung beetles and you roll the poo around. Knows what's for. Oh, really? If you want some poo? Alright, get your ass in there. There's these cows. Get them in there. Get them to crap, and I'll make you a bowl of poo. And you can do what the hell you like with it. Go on your break. You still here? Oh, charming.
That game cracks me up. Oh my god. The whole game is like that, guys. If you've not played Conker's Bad Fur Day, I definitely recommend playing it. It is just too funny. And the story, it doesn't make any sense at all. It really doesn't, but it doesn't have to. The story plays so well. I mean, it really does. As stupid as the story is, it's perfect. Alright, guys, we're finally at the number 1 spot. Now, the number 1 spot, it belongs to a game that, without a doubt, deserves it. There's no question that it does. And I tweeted at a couple of big YouTubers yesterday, and I'm sure you all know who they are. I tweeted at them and asked them what their favorite Nintendo 64 game of all time was. So, this is definitely... this game definitely deserves to be the number 1 spot, because if it was not the greatest Nintendo 64 game of all time, I honestly do not think that we would have games like Battlefield or Halo or Call of Duty. I don't think they would exist now if it were not for this game. So, picked at the number 1 spot, picked by my favorite troll on YouTube, Lost in Place, and one of my favorite, all-time favorite YouTubers, Jimmy, Chaos X Silencer. The number 1 spot, definitely, without a doubt, has to go to GoldenEye. GoldenEye was... It was one of the first games that came out for the Nintendo 64, and you were hooked the second you started playing it. I mean, the single player was absolutely amazing on it. The cheat codes, like, once you unlocked all of them, you could have so much fun playing, like, with paintball mode and things like that. Multiplayer, I honestly think multiplayer in this game invented screen watching. I really do. Now, granted, you had games like Doom and Quake and games like that, but honestly, something was different about GoldenEye with the multiplayer. GoldenEye set the bar for what multiplayer games, especially on console, should be, and that's why it deserves the number 1 spot. So, I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. everybody's played this game. Everybody has. There should be no gameplay required, but I'm going to put it in there just because it's our number one, and it absolutely deserves it without a doubt. So, alright guys, so we will be back as soon as the number one spot, as soon as the gameplay is over, we'll be back. Yeah, hands down, number one spot has to go to GoldenEye, without a doubt, guys. Alright, well that was it for our top 10 Nintendo 64 games of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to drop a like on it and hit that subscribe button right in the mouth. Because like I said, as soon as we get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to be doing another giveaway, guys. So be sure you share the video, get the word out. Honestly, I had a great time making this video. I really, truly did. I put a lot of effort into it. Honestly, this is probably the best video I've ever put out, to be honest with you. I know there's people out there who, you know, could just trample all over the editing skills of this video, but like I said, I feel like it was my best video I ever put out. So if you feel the same way, be sure you drop a like on it, and I will see you guys back on Thursday, because I've got to go to work at 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, and I don't get off until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm going to be going to bed pretty early tomorrow. But anyway, guys, I will see you Thursday, and I hope y'all have a good one. I will see ya.